I'm here with Steve Nicholson, Chief Football Writer at the Derby Telegraph, after the Rams' 1-0 home defeat to MK Dons. Steve, give us your thoughts on the game.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is that they lost, and so that's a major disappointment. I always thought today was about the result. You know, Derby need a win. The run they've been on recently, they're desperate for a win. Today, you know, MK Dons at home. MK Dons hadn't won away since the opening day of the season. You know, Carl Robinson, the manager, just said in there, no one gave him a chance here today. But if we just talk about them briefly, I thought they were terrific. I thought their desire they showed, the collective togetherness. I thought the two centre-backs headed everything into the box. I thought the goalkeeper came and collected stuff as well. And all in all, Robinson would be very proud of their performance. Derby, listen, it's been a really tough week. You know, and when you get weeks of upheaval like Derby have, the manager was sacked, new head coach is installed, you're always going to get, you know, at the end of the week, you always want the result. And that's to come out of it with a positive. Darren Wassell will be, and he said in there, will be pleased or delighted, he said, with the effort of the players. I don't think that was in question. Their application was there. You know, they wanted to win, obviously, but you know, this team's short of confidence, and it's been short of confidence for a number of weeks now. And you know, we saw things in the final third again, not enough quality, decision making not sharp enough. No one really taking control of the game and bossing the game. So all in all, it was not a good afternoon. It's not the start Darren Wassell would have wanted. He knows that. But while he'd be happy with the endeavour and that, I don't think, you know, the performance was good enough. We know that, and some of the players need to step up. You know, there's some big players out here, some big signings. It's really time that they stepped up, because Derby need to break the sequence.
Darren Wassell made a couple of changes in terms of personnel and system. Take us through those.
Yeah, made two changes. Bradley Johnson returned to the side. Tom Ince came back in as well. I asked him about the shape, what shape he would play on Friday, Darren, and he kept that close to his chest, which is understandable. Paul Clement said when he was in charge that 4-3-3 suited this team best. Darren went for a 4-4-2, more of a 4-4-2. It's not a system I like, and I can count on one hand probably the number of times Derby have really cracked that system and played really well with it. So it's not a system I like too much. It doesn't give Derby control of the ball as such in midfield as far as starting play goes and playing through the lines. I understand why he did it, because he wants to get the ball forward early, he wants to get runners in and around and behind Chris Martin. But Derby went from maybe playing too slowly under Paul Clement, too much possession and too much sideways movement under Paul Clement, to going maybe too direct today. I thought a lot of it was too direct today. There has to be a variation in between. There has to be a balance in between. You've got to play different ways, not just one way. And I just thought a lot of it was hit and hope at times, although I must admit, Marcus Olsen whipped some beautiful balls in from the left-hand side, and really Derby had one or two opportunities. Andres Ryman had a header. Jason Shackles should have scored first half from a curling free kick. So there were those opportunities, and also the key thing today was the first goal. Always going to be the first goal. Derby needed it. They didn't get it. Did they deserve to lose? Probably not. Did they do enough to win as the home team against a struggling side? No, they didn't.
That's now 8 league games without a win, and they drop another place to 6th, going to an away game at Brentford next week.
Yes, I said before the game, you know, this season isn't over. I don't think the season is over by a long way. You know, I mean, they have dropped a place, and they've dropped consistently since Boxing Day when they were top. They're now 6th, and they're looking over their shoulder when at one time they were looking up. So they need to halt that slide. You know, Darren Wassell's only had them together for maybe 4 or 5 days. I understand it's not easy. It's not easy to get things nailed down in that time. I expected to see more today as far as the style of play and the tempo and the way they went about it and that type of thing. But it's you know, there's very little time he's had, so he really has to start nailing a few things down. They've got Brentford away, and they need to go there, as I say. They need a good week's training. They need to kind of sort one or two things out. As I say, there was a lot of today's performance which really, wasn't good enough for a home team against a struggling team. They had to be better than that today. All the effort was there, all the application was there. They just need the team shape to be better, and they need the final third to show more quality. But as I say, the season's not over by a long way yet. There's 15 games left, Brentford away next, and they need to break the sequence.